Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is July 20th, 2025, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 29. The glory of young men is their strength. The splendor of old men is gray hair. I didn't pick this one because I'm a little gray. Quite honestly, while I do have some years under me, I still hope that I am in that young men side of things. Although I am getting closer to the old side. I just recognize that. I feel it when I wake up in the morning. But the glory of young men is their strength. You know, in the world we live in, the young, the energetic, the strong, they get out there and they get the work done. I can remember for years, you know, I relied on just go, go, go. And brute force was my friend. I could get things done because, well, I could get things done. And during that time period, I often looked down on the older generations who couldn't do as much as me. I'm not saying I was a good man. That was not a good way to look at life in any way, shape, or form. But I have eventually grown to the point to understand that those men who walked around, the OGs, the graybeards, they walked around and they were OGs and graybeards because not only did they in their youth have great strength and might and ability, they also had some wisdom and knowledge, because they didn't become old men and graybeards just with great strength. See, I watched so many who were like me that didn't get old, didn't learn, and ended up making really bad mistakes, and never were looked at as those to impart wisdom. I'll be honest, I didn't think I would ever get there. And today I have a little bit. I have a lot of gray, a little bit of wisdom. I'm grateful for that. But whether you walk in this life of what we call Christianity, making Jesus Christ your higher power and turning your life and will over to Him, or you're out in the world doing your own thing like Michael Davis Guitar, who says Christians are toxic and stupid. See, I get it. And the reality is, young and dumb and full of, yes, you know the saying, is a thing. And that was me. I've lived that life. But I've also been blessed enough to have those in my life that were graybeards, that not only lived a life of power and strength in their young years, but with some knowledge and wisdom that they picked up from other graybeards to learn how to survive and impart wisdom into them, which they in turn imparted into me. One of those pieces of wisdom that I've held on to for years was a true mentor told me, you can't get anything more than wisdom. Everything else you chase after will fade. But wisdom and knowledge, that will carry you your entire life. He said Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived. He wrote an entire book of wisdom, the book of Proverbs. There's 30 chapters in that book, and so you should read one chapter every day. And since you're doing it, you might as well just pick the one that is corresponding to the date and read it. And it was a great piece of wisdom that I rejected for probably 20 years, if not more. Finally, one day, life was unmanageable and it was going to fall apart for the third or fourth time. And I decided, well, it's worth a shot. And I started reading the book of Proverbs. Wasn't going to church, wasn't doing anything, but I decided if wisdom was what allowed people to become graybeards, OGs, then I guess I'd better get some, or I may not see another year. It was many years ago, probably 17, 18 years ago, something like that. God's been changing me every day since then. So, it's important. The glory of young men is their strength. That is absolutely true. But the splendor of old men is the gray hair. Get wisdom. Above all else, get understanding. I love you all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.